Well, hello. I'm sorry I wasn't speaking just then, but a box came up on the screen and I had to deal with it. And I had to read it before I just dismissed it because it might have been important. So I'm a little bit early. I'm sorry about that. No one is ready yet. No one is here. So I'm just going to sit here and chat. I'm going out tonight. It's the family Christmas meal. We're going to a relatively posh restaurant. I have washed my hair, hence the fact I'm sitting here with wet hair and I'm absolutely frozen. Hi Joe. I'm trying to encourage it to dry, so I'm sat over a little oil-filled radiator because I can't do it with a hairdryer or it will just freeze. Gave up on the idea of sort of blow drying it into a bob because it wasn't having any of that. So yeah, I've just, when I wash it, hello Amanda, how are your poor fingers? Hello Valerie. Happy Saturday to you as well, Valerie. Thank you, Kitty. Kitty. Thank you, Nancy. I'm sure Bigfoot will still be there when I'm done. Yeah, so when I wash it, I have to kind of like wind it into ringlets. It will curl by itself, but it frizzes. So I try and reduce the frizz by sort of wrangling it into ringlets. Most people have like their entire lives to learn how to deal with their curly hair. I've only had about 18 months, so I'm still learning. Oh, how did you do it, Amanda? I must have missed something. Somebody said the other day they thought you'd hurt your finger. Oh, Babette, is it very early for you? I'm sorry. Babette does not seem to be pleased to be awake. I can't say as I blame her. Yes, so we're going out tonight. It is the family Christmas meal and I'm looking forward to it very much. Okay, I'll wait for that. I shall see that. I'll look forward to that tomorrow. Oh, I feel you, Babette. I haven't had my coffee yet and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, Lorraine. Still awake, Lorraine. I didn't see you last night. I wasn't on Zoom last night. I had a bit of a day yesterday. And by the evening, I was definitely not fit for company. I have a meltdown every Christmas, and it usually happens Boxing Day or the day after, when I've decided that everything is mess and everyone has been in the house for too long and got on my nerves. But I thought I'd have it early this year, so I had it yesterday. That doesn't mean there won't be another one on Boxing Day. There might be. But yeah, I got a little bit. Yeah, today's going to be better. I'm on my own for a start, which sounds mean. But yeah, I'm on my own. Ewan, bless him, changed his shifts today so that he could come to the family meal. So he started work at 7 o'clock this morning. He's finishing at 3. Dave is at work. So yeah, today will be a better day. Do you know, I get more and more like it the older I get. Dave worries sometimes about the amount of time I spend on my own. And I've never been afraid of my own company. I've always, well, sometimes preferred it to being in the company of other people. And I don't think he realises quite how much time I spend, well, he must know how much time I spend on Zoom. I could hear myself. I started a rant, Valerie. I started a rant, and as I ranted, I heard myself getting louder and louder and louder until I was yelling at everybody. Ewan went and shut himself in the kitchen so he could watch the dinner, and Dave went to Lidl's and left me alone for 10 minutes, and then I was fine. Just sometimes you need to remind them who's boss, don't you? Yeah. It was a bit of a ranty day. And it was all really because I was in a lot of pain because I'd had a completely pointless physio appointment in the morning. Oh, don't pull the stitches off. Where she'd made me bend and stretch and squat and do all these things, only to turn around and tell me that she could do nothing for me and was referring me back to my GP. So the whole thing was pointless and just left me in agony for the rest of the day. Oh, at this is my anthology throw. That's the wrong side. I am 11 days behind with it. I think I'm still on day, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on day 5 or 6, I think. I put it aside because I had so much gift knitting to do. And I concentrated on the other one, the Advent wrap. Oh, I might as well show you that while I'm talking about it. This one I'm doing with my Advent from Alex at My Yarny Corner. The Advent wrap I'm doing with Amanda's from Little Lycac. And it's really weird. Quite often the days correspond with each other and they would have gone really nicely together if I'd put them all in one project. It's been really weird. I'll show you half of it because this is... Morning Mandy, morning Lisa. What was that? Fell on the floor. Never mind, we'll worry about that in a minute. Oh, Nancy, you show off. I've still got 4 things to do. Not helped by the fact do you remember that sock I was knitting on Thursday? I pulled it down yesterday and started again. That has not helped. Don't encourage her, Valerie. Just she thinks she's clever. Yeah, that's the Advent wrap, which is actually more like a cardigan. And this one I'm doing, as I say, with Amanda's from Little Lycac. There are no spoilers because I am 5 days behind with this one as well. So yeah, that's how it's working out so far. I absolutely love the colours. I love the pattern, though this row, well, it's 2 rows actually that make this flower stitch. Yeah, that's a little bit, it's pretty, isn't it? And it's moved sort of, well, why should you not say it? You should, no praise like self-praise. It is beautiful. They are all beautiful. I can't wait to get the next ones in because it's moved sort of through greys into the blues and now it's moving into greens when I finally get them in. It is pretty and I don't see why you couldn't knit a jumper in it, quite honestly. It's quite a simple pattern. Yeah, I'm hoping to get the gift. No, I'm not hoping. There's no hope at all. I had hoped that I would have the gift knits done by now, and that I would then have all of next week to catch up with these, get back on the correct day, and then by Christmas I'd have them both finished. That's not happening. I think I'm going to be gift knitting probably until after Christmas, and so we'll be catching up with this after Christmas. But it doesn't really matter. You'll get there in the end. It's not a race. So I'm with this one, what I'm doing, I think I told you this last week, I'm dividing the mini into 2 because I'm knitting both sides at the same time, and then it's not using the whole of the 10 grams. Oh, 3 sweaters. Oh, at least I didn't go that mad. I've only done sort of socks and hats and things. Yeah, and with the leftovers I'm winding them into this ball, 2 balls in fact, to make some Advent socks. So I shall look forward to doing that after Christmas as well. I'm just going to retrieve my stitch counter that I dropped on the floor when I got that out. Hello, Anne. Oh, honestly, Lisa, I don't know why I make plans. Hello, Jane. Oh, got it. Yeah, I thought I'd knit the anthology while I was on here today because the wrap requires a little bit of concentration. This doesn't really. And I can't knit on any gift knits in case someone that they're for is watching or watches afterwards. So yeah, it's this one. Jane, are you doing yours with Alex's Advent as well? I can't remember. I should know. I see you nearly every day. I should ought to remember. That was good English, wasn't it? Don't listen to that, Amanda. Yeah, so that's all I've got to tell you about this week. Oh, this that I've got around my shoulders, this was my Advent knit from last year. It's called Advent Envy, and it's quite a long shawl. You can see it's quite long, fairly shallow. It was interesting to knit, and I think I might knit this again next year with whatever Advents I end up with. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, Jane. The anthology throw pattern, for those of you that haven't seen it, tells you to change colours at specific rows. But a couple of people, thank you, a couple of people I know who are knitting it, including sort of other podcasters, found that on day 6 they ran out of yarn before they'd got to the next colour change. So what I'm doing, and what Jane is doing, and I think quite a lot of us are, I think Crazy Sock Lady is now, is just knitting until I am on row 97, Jane. I am way behind. Come on then. Come on. Oh, you have to go the long way. She found she was missing out. Yeah, so now I'm just using the, well, I have done from the beginning, just using the mini until it runs out rather than change when they tell you to. Did you think you were missing the ladies? You can't see the ladies today. They can see you though. She comes and fetches me. If I've, morning Zooms start at 11 o'clock, and if I've not, Lisa says hello. Are you going to say hello back? No, she's sorry. She has very important business watching her sister in the garden. She's been in trouble today. Oh, there's Daddy. No, he's not out there. She's been in trouble today. She can be a bit of a bully. And my big fat cat, Lily, yeah, Lily doesn't help herself because she grumbles and she growls and she hisses, and they think that's an excellent game. So she came in, she'd been out in the garden, she came in and she just went straight up to Lily, who was asleep on the sofa, stood up on the sofa and went bop. Oh, Lorraine's finished. Hello, Dorothy. Yeah, so she's been in trouble for that this morning. But yeah, what I was saying was, if I haven't come down from my bedroom or come in here, Mimi says hello. Oh, that got a reaction. She'll come and fetch me. She knows when it's 11 o'clock. 167, you're doing well. Gosh, you must be nearly done. How many rows does it have? Let me look. Oh, not as far on as I thought. Oh, you've still got quite a way to go then. Oh, look at you, you're all up to date. I'm so far behind. Oh now I've dropped a stitch. I could possibly catch up with the wrap, because you don't use the whole 20 grams even over the two sides. There's no hope that I'm going to catch up with this, I don't think. So never mind. We'll have something to knit after Christmas, won't we? You went to sleep? You're giving me love eyes. That's very nice. Are you sorry you were mean to Lily? Are you? Yeah. Not really. It's Christmas. You need to be nice to your sisters. It is nice. It is a nice knit. It doesn't require a lot of thought. Oh, hello, Karen. You made it. You've got decent internet today. Karen sent me, Karen has the recreational knitting podcast, and she sent me it's like a pattern book of patterns from World War One, I think, looking at them. I did look at them. I opened my eyes and my phone had gone ping, and I had a look at it, and I looked through it without my glasses on and with my brain not really awake. I think Valerie's a bit excited that you're here, Karen. Yeah, so thank you very much. That's excellent. It's got lots of interesting things in it. More wretched knee-length sock patterns that I will probably be expected to knit in boring colours, but hey, at least he has a hobby. It'd be really good if I could teach him to knit, but he won't have it. I told him these are actually the opposite, Anne. I think they're so old that they are very, very basic. There are some instructions in there that I'm going to have to research, like knit a seam, it says, which I'm kind of wondering whether it means, you know, sometimes when you're knitting, you put like a selvage on the edge of the fabric that you're making. I'm wondering if it means that, but I'll have a closer look at some point when I am awake and my brain is working. But yeah, that was excellent. Thank you. I have tried to persuade him that lots of men used to knit during the First World War in the trenches. I'm pretty sure my grandfather knitted. I think my dad did, because I remember him helping me with something when I was having a problem, though it could well just have been that he understood the mechanics of it because he was an engineer. So yeah, you Dave has this plan. Yes, because it kept them busy, didn't it? I mean, it was something to do in downtime, and it was also useful because they could make themselves socks and mittens and whatever. Yeah, Dave has this plan that I should knit all these wartime patterns, and then, oh, that's nice to know. Yeah, then I should have a stall at these fairs and shows that Ewan goes to with his reenactment group. I should be all dressed up in 1940s or whatever era it is they're doing, and have a stall of knitted goods for people to look at. It sounds like not a bad plan, apart from the fact that I would have to knit quite a lot of things in order to have the stall. And I mean, I wouldn't want to sell any of them, so I'm not sure that there'd be much interest. But who knows? Probably not this year, because, as you may remember, this year I'm embarking on a Stephen West marathon, which I'm already starting to wonder if it was a terribly good idea. And I've swapped out one of the shawls for a different Stephen West one that I'd forgot. Living History. Yes, thank you. Oh, Lisa, you be quiet. Yeah, I'd forgotten I wanted to make a pagoda shawl. So I've taken out the shawlography that I was going to knit again. And I'm going to do the pagoda instead. Hello, Alice. Yes, Starflake. You won't know this. I've confused myself so terribly. Right, yesterday I recorded a podcast to go out on the 28th, and you have no idea. Lisa thinks it's a good idea. Yes, that's it. Gather your allies, Dave. Stephen West is a good idea, yes. I know, Karen. We need saving. It's that Nancy's fault. Oh, that's a good idea, Valerie. That is a good idea. I don't know who I can rope in for that. Yes, so I recorded this podcast and I said that I would try and have a hashtag. Oh, see you later, love. That's my husband, not any of the rest of you. Yeah, I was going to try and have a hashtag ready for you for today. Oh, we know, Karen, we know, because two of our ladies have an Albina McLaughlin fixation. Yeah, so I was going to have a hashtag ready for you today, and I was going to sort out a thread on Ravelry so that people could start, oh, I'm thinking of these colours, and chatting with each other. Recorded the podcast, completely forgot all about it. So I do not yet have a hashtag for you, but I will sort that out. And another thing I wanted to ask you, actually, do you want one of these next week? I mean, it's Christmas Eve, so people are busy. I'm happy to do it, but if the rest of you are like, yeah, we've seen enough of you now, that's fine too. I will attempt to have a hashtag ready, and I will put it in the community tab on YouTube. If you don't know how to access that, when you come into YouTube, I'm not busy, everyone's working next week, so it'll be a normal Saturday for me. Oh, you're going on a plane. That's okay. It will be there for you to watch at your leisure. Okay, we'll do next week then. Even if it's just 2 or 3 of us, we'll still do it. So I will have a hashtag ready for you next week. I promise. If I don't have, yell at me and I will organise it while we are on live. Oh, Alice. You wouldn't have said that last night. Yeah, so if I don't remember, yell at me. Oh, Lisa. How are you managing Christmas, Lisa? Is someone cooking for you? Are you hopping around on crutches trying to do it? Yes, so I got myself in a right confusion about what day it was. Kept trying to say, I'll sort it out for you for Saturday, and then thought, but then people will think I mean this coming Saturday. And I don't, I mean today. See, I'm getting in the confusion again. I just should never have said anything at all, really. So, yeah. But nothing at all has happened this week. Nothing interesting, nothing funny, nothing exciting. Just nothing. Just been a week. So, oh, I don't know what that is, Valerie. An NAFLD. Sounds like it's pretty miserable. Yeah, I guessed as much. The Starflake Cal, 2 months, from 1st of January to the 28th of February. I thought I'd do 2 months because it was originally an M Cal. So that would have been a month. Oh, hello. I've not seen you before, Lanny. And then the next one went, hang on. Santa pajamas sound excellent, Lorraine. Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten you'd all got COVID as well now, Lisa. Not the best Christmas for you lot, is it? Yes, sorry, completely distracted. I'm running it for 2 months because it was originally a month-long MCAL. So if it's possible to do it in a month, I thought, let's face it, none of us are going to go at it like maniacs like we do when it's an MCAL. I thought 2 months might be enough. Oh, yes. Karen from Recreational Knitting is also running a CAL, which starts on the 1st of January, I think, Karen. Oh, that's nice. And it's a whip begone. So I think she said anything that's on the needles on the 31st of December counts. So you can enter as many items as you finish. Can't remember how long it runs for, Karen. So yeah, so it's excellent. If you want to clear your needles, go for it. And I'm quite happy if you want. Oh, it runs for the same. It's the same time period. So 1st of January till the 28th of February. And if you want. Oh, well done, Emma. Hello. If you want, I will relax the rules. You can cast on the 31st or the 30th, or at any point before the 1st, so then you can enter it into both. You can also enter it if it's something challenging that you're doing. Oh, 5 sweaters. Into Alex from My Yarny Corner. Oh, I can never remember the name of her, Mal. It's something about testing your test your limits, I think. Might be test your limits. So that's anything that you've kind of not knit before or you've had a go at, but yeah, it bested you. So if you've never done brioche before, the Starflake shawl has brioche in, and then you could enter that in all 3. So anything else I need to say about that? I don't think so. Oh, hello, Denise. Sacramento Delta. What's your weather like? She said, out of curiosity, sat here in a woolly jumper, wrapped in a shawl, huddled over a radiator. Are you? Amanda is also doing a whip make-along. Oh, I've not seen that one. I'll have to have a look. If you're talking about the Starflake, Anne, it's 200 grams of 2 colours. So 400 grams in total, 200 grams of 2 contrasting colours. Yeah, because all the whips. Many whips. I try not to make eye contact with the shelf over there that's full of all my whips. They look at me reprovingly from across the room while I cast on something new. I keep telling them it's for Christmas, but they're not listening. Foggy and cold. Oh, I was hoping you were going to say it's like, see, my geography is rubbish, and I thought you were going to say it's like 70 degrees and wonderful. You abandoned Stephen West. Which one did you abandon? I abandoned Twists and Turns. I just wasn't enjoying it. Ah, there you go. You could do it all in one colour, and that did cross my mind because I'm struggling. Oh, Twists and Turns. I am struggling to make my mind up about colours, which is a thing that happens to me every now and again. Is there? I'd be quite interested to see what that's like. Oh, and we're also doing a star flanket. Caroline from the Aria Bark podcast, Nancy and I. So far, it's just the three of us lunatics, but we're giving ourselves the whole year for that. But if any of you wanted to join in, you would be more than welcome. It's not really a knit along as such. It's just we kind of talked each other into doing it. I don't really know how it happened. It just happened. And then Nancy was looking through other people's projects on Ravelry, and she found one that had been knit entirely in black. And I was like, oh, because I do like black. But I think that a whole year of knitting a giant black blanket, that's really hard to say. That might be just a little bit too much for me. Especially as, depending when I start it, I'm probably going to have loads of hot blanket all over me during the summer, which wasn't terribly well planned. I am covered in your hair, Poppy. She's gone to sleep, she doesn't care. I'm covered in hers. I'm also covered in my own, but that's no surprise because I've just washed it. You're a floofer. I'm quite surprised. I put up this little Christmas tree and it's got some baubles hanging, little baubles just hanging on it. Originally it lit up, but it doesn't light up anymore, and so I wound some lights around it, and I fully expected that somebody not a million miles away would either remove the balls or remove the balls and chew through the wires, and so far, touch wood, she's done neither. There's time yet though, after she did terrible things to Madame Souris and Miss Suzette, who are still living happily in their jar. They're much happier now they're in a jar, away from somebody's claws. I feel like I'm straying into the realms of talking nonsense again. Yes, I reckon she is, Anne. I'm going to come in here one day and the whole thing will be ripped apart. Chaos. Chaos, Kitty. Sorry, I'm quiet again because I'm trying to read quickly. It's gone. I didn't read quick enough. We are quite a blankety family. I am the most blankety person, I think. Peter and Lauren also enjoy a blanket. Peter very often asks for a blanket for his birthday, which is in July. But yeah, we do like a nice cosy blanket. And in fact, yesterday I remembered that, oh gosh, it must have been 10 or 11 years ago. Because while he was at university, Peter bought me a fleece blanket with sleeves. It's called a Snuggie or something. And I suddenly remembered it yesterday because I was frozen. I think because I was tired and I had a lot of pain, and so I wasn't moving around much. And I fished it out. Oh, it was cozy. It is what it sounds like. It's a blanket, but it's got sleeves. So you put your arms through the sleeves and you tuck it all around you. And then there's a little, there's a little pocket for putting things in. We don't put a tree skirt on our tree, Mandy, because I fear it would just be an invitation to wreck. It probably was called a slanket. I think it would just be an invitation to wreck the tree. As it is, to make sure there's nothing dangling down below it. All the baubles and everything are placed further up the tree, out of the way of pause. Rose likes to sharpen her claws on the trunk of the artificial Christmas tree. And then, because it's got sort of plasticky pine needly things, then she eats those, which probably not terribly good for her, but hey. She's managed to make it to 11, so it can't do her that much harm, can it? I'm just going to mark this row off before I forget. I can't believe I've only done one row all the time I've been here. So, yeah. They do that all over the place anyway, Lisa. I was on Zoom. It must have been Thursday. Yes, it was Thursday because Ewan was getting his lunch before he went to work. He was on a late shift. And he came up and he went, "Somebody's been sick. Can you come and clear it up because I'm doing my lunch?" And he was like, yes. So I left Zoom to go and attend to that delightful little problem. Yeah, that would be exactly what happened here. Do you know what, Alice? I don't think you can go wrong with the Cascade Heritage. I love that stuff. Yeah, that's because you were ignoring her. She just was attention seeking. In the podcast that I've just recorded, pretty much everything is knit with Cascade Heritage. It's really soft. I'm doing my Slipstravaganza in Cascade Heritage. What else have I done? I did start my twists and turns in it. It's not massively expensive. It's not as expensive as hand dyed, but it is a sock yarn, so it's got nylon in and it's quite well, you know, wears well. It's easy to wash because it's super wash, and it's just really soft, so it makes a nice drapey shawl. Having said that, I think I'm going to dye some up for mine because I can't decide what colour I want to use, and there's probably no chance of getting anything from Wool Warehouse between now and Christmas, or even in the week after Christmas in time to start my shawl. So I think that boat has probably sailed, but you could probably get it in time because, see, this is the bizarre thing. On the 4th, 5th or 6th of December, whichever was that Monday of that weekend, I posted out some yarn orders. One went to America. There was one for Essex. The lady in America has had hers. The lady in Essex has not. So it's definitely our postal service. Second choice. Ooh. My second choice would probably be not a wool yarn, but Stylecraft Special 4-ply, which is what I made my, not this one, shawlography in. It was the first MCAL I'd done, so I used an acrylic yarn because I wasn't going to spend a fortune. And then, yes, they are on strike. They come back to work for a few days every week and then they're striking again, which in the beginning wasn't making much impact on the post. Things were delayed by a few days, but now it's just all piling up. The pictures on social media, our local hub is Bristol, and they've got those big roller cages full. There are so many of them that there's probably as many outside the warehouse as there are inside. I don't know it's going to take months to clear the backlog. So yeah, the post is a little bit, I know, it looks awful, doesn't it, Anne? They do make 4-ply. There aren't a huge range of colours though. That's the only thing. Yeah, and it will be getting from Wool Warehouse to the States, Babette. Once it gets to you, it'll be fine. But yeah, it's been posted. It's horrendous. Oh, does it? Yeah. Well, if you've got anything coming, don't be looking out for your postman just yet. I don't know if I saved the picture. I might have done. Let me have a look. It looks absolutely chaotic. I'm a little bit panicking because I have my medication through the mail, which was a great service. Oh, yeah. But I'm a bit worried about whether it's going to come on time or not. Yeah, I did. Hang on. Let me see if I can. Okay, so that was from a few days ago. Those are the roller cages outside. They're just the ones that wouldn't fit inside the warehouse. And you can imagine how large the warehouse is. It's just horrific. Oh. I don't want to get political, but, well, yeah, supposedly, but we'll see. If they're not paying the nurses, they're not going to pay anybody else, are they? You know, when you think back to a couple of years ago, the NHS were our heroes and nothing was too good for them, and really it's all been forgotten. You know, the post office, they worked all through COVID, they worked all through the pandemic. I know the government doesn't pay the post office, but you might have to knit from stash. I know. I'm just not going to get into it because I don't like talking about political things. So we're just not going to get into it. Suffice it to say that the post is taking an awfully long time. And with each passing week, it takes longer because the backlog just gets bigger and bigger. So, yeah. I won't be ordering anything from Wool Warehouse to do my star flake with. I have plenty of yarn here, both commercial and other hand dyed, and plenty of bare yarn to dye myself. But my main problem, I would like to use from stash, but I don't have two the same of anything, which is, this was the problem I had with the twists and turns, because you needed two the same. I've got sweater quantities of a couple of things, but I don't really want to break those up. So I think I'm going to end up dyeing something. I did, with the exception of 2 pairs of socks, I did my Christmas knitting with stash. Because I did start off this year, I'm already calling it last year, with a promise to myself that I was going to work through stash. That's good going in 14 months. Yes, you are definitely one of our tribe. And I did really well until it came to sort of September time, when I had to buy yarn for the twists and turns, and that just opened the floodgates. It's a bit like being on a diet and saying, I'm just going to have one chocolate out of the box because one won't hurt. And then before you know it, you've eaten half the box. So I'm kind of back on a yarn ban. And because I've bought so many patterns this year and probably not even knit, well, a fraction of them, oh, I don't see why you couldn't do a scrappy, I can't say scrappy starflake. Oh, that was hard. Yeah, I'm going on a pattern ban as well because it's ridiculous. You have no idea how many patterns I have. I have a shelf. I don't know if I can show you. Let me just... Okay, I'm going to turn you now. Okay, can you see this shelf here? Full of binders, full of patterns. This shelf, books of patterns. Downstairs, there's another bookcase that's got lots of pattern books in. No, I did that yesterday. I did it yesterday. I can't do it again today. I'll get a headache and I've got to go out tonight. Yeah, I've got another bookcase downstairs that's got a load of pattern books in. And under my desk, I didn't show you that, are folders with patterns of things that I'm either currently knitting or plan to cast on next. Yeah. I don't need any more patterns. Probably didn't need any more patterns to begin with. With the star flanket, I have got enough. I'm thinking of doing it in a purple. I'm looking up there because I'm looking at the boxes. A purple, either white or kind of a apricot-y colour. I bought this apricot. I was going to make myself a cardigan and then realised that I would look naked. So I scrapped that idea. So I've got those two. You need 4 colours for it. I've got some shocking pink, and I mean really shocking pink, from Home Bargains. And then I've either got some very pale green, pale sort of appley green, or very pale pink. So I'm going to have a look at those nearer casting on time, and see what I'm going to do with those. But I've definitely got enough in stash to knit, because I've got, it's all acrylic, but I've got several jumpers quantities plus odds and ends. So the purple I bought years ago and kind of went off. I know that's the funnest bit. That was good English as well, wasn't it? That's the most fun bit. Yeah, I went off the idea of having it as a sweater because it's quite a bright purple. And then the shocking pink is one of my favourite colours. I know they're all my favourite colours, but it's one of my favourite colours. And that ended up, I was in Home Bargains and they had a pack, and their yarn is so cheap, but it's nice yarn. And there was this pack of pink that was almost too bright to look at. It made your eyes hurt. And I thought, I've got to have that. But with no plan at all of what I was going to do with it. I couldn't make a garment out of it. People would go blind. I know. Why do we do it? Why do we do it? I've already... Have you seen my scrappy C2C, Jane? I'm trebling the yarn in it. I won't fish it out now because it means scrabbling about under the desk. But if you haven't seen it, ask me again on Zoom and I'll show you. That's a yarn eater. That's absolutely brilliant. Yes. So all you do is you sort of, it's all double knit, but what I do, oh gosh, this is still so wet. It's starting to make my neck itch. You sort of make a loop and then you pull the next lot of yarn. So you've got a loop like that. Pull the next lot of yarn through it. Oh look, I'm nearly at the end of the ball. And then you're working with 3 strands rather than 1. And it eats the yarn. I can't remember where I saw that. It was on somebody's, it was years ago, but on somebody's podcast, I think. It might have been Stephen West, you know. It might have been for something like, oh God, Penguono or something like that. I can't remember, but I've got a feeling it was a Stephen West trick. Yeah, so I will remind me, because you know I'll forget. I have a brain like a sieve. Yeah, it does. And if you're doing it with the yarn trebled, I had a huge bag of DK scraps and almost whole balls, some of them, but it was just an odd colour and I didn't have anything else to go with it. And I've been doing that with it and it gobbles it up. It's brilliant. If you've got a lot of scraps you want to get rid of. If you're buying yarn specifically to do it, probably not so brilliant because you're going to need a lot. But I wanted a big, thick, squashy blanket. Yes. I have a feeling I was talking about something when I got distracted by that, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it's a good way to really reduce the scraps. I'm nearly ready to join in the next colour. This is exciting. Yes, I don't know what I might have been talking about when I distracted myself, but no, can't remember. So, gosh, we've done even worse than normal. It's nearly an hour. We're only like 8 minutes off an hour. Which I try not to do because it's great while we're sitting here chatting. But anybody who's trying to catch up with it later, oh Mandy, and we're just about to go. Sorry. Anybody who's trying to catch up with it later is going to be like, oh, it's an hour. I don't know if I can sit through an hour of that woman rambling. Yeah. So Ewan will be home from work in a minute. I'm probably very tired and grumpy. I don't want to be making a noise because he might want a nap before we go out. Oh, sometimes I do feel bad though because, well, I suppose if you don't want somebody who just rambles and gets distracted and goes off at tangents, this probably isn't the place for you, is it? Thank you. I like to be useful. I've got Bakery Bears to watch actually. That's a proper long one. That's 2 hours. It is a bit like having coffee with friends. That's why I like these lives. Yeah. Part of me wonders whether this is something I should do more regularly. Maybe once a month rather than an ordinary podcast. Yeah. There is that benefit to it, Mandy, isn't there? You'll know. It's like, it's not a quick 15 minutes. Get yourself settled and comfy. Yeah, maybe I should do this once a month because I enjoy it. It's doing the podcast is enjoyable. Oh, I'm glad, Karen. I'm glad we kept you company, and I'm glad that you had decent Wi-Fi and could join us. It's nice. Yeah, I enjoy recording the podcast, but this is different and it's fun and you get to interact as well. So maybe that's something I'll think about for next year, is that maybe we'll do a live once a month. Bye, Amanda. Looking forward to your podcast. Hope those fingers get better very quickly. Yeah. So on that note, I should probably go, as I've taken up a whole hour of your Saturday. And go and do something quiet. So if he needs a nap, you are going to have one. And then I shall attempt to make myself presentable to go out for dinner. I'm just hoping my hair dries. It's still, I mean, that one there is still soaking wet. You can see it's still, the rest have all kind of relaxed as they're drying, but that one is very wet. So I'm going to go. I will see you next Saturday, which is Christmas Eve, unbelievably. I'm not sure how that's happened. 2 o'clock again. And we will sit and chat. I will probably be moaning about the fact that I haven't finished my Christmas knitting still. And not caught up with my Advent projects. But never mind. We'll have a chat. That'll be good. Maybe we'll have a coffee and a mince pie. Who knows? So, until next Saturday, have a lovely week. Try not to get too stressed. It's only one day. Everybody makes such a big deal out of it, but it is only one day. And yeah, happy knitting. Bye, everyone. See you next week.